Give me a second here. So, Biden's pardons are all in peril because of a New York Times article released yesterday said, and they interviewed Biden about this. He said, I wanted to approve them all, but there were too many. So the latest count, hey, Captain, let me take care of this right now. I made you a managing moderator, Captain. Hi there. So, all of the pardons are in peril because Joe Biden said in an interview that was released in the New York Times yesterday that he said, I wanted to approve them all, but there were just too many. That means that they're invalid because the Presidential Records Act requires that if a president issues a pardon, there must be a paper trail to prove that the president authorized the pardon, whether he signed it or he allowed the auto pen to be used. There must be a physical paper trail. And what the paper trail shows here is that Biden's chief of staff wrote emails to the girl that used the auto pen, and she wanted verification that the president authorized these pardons, and the chief of staff wrote back and said, I authorized the use of the auto pen for the following pardons. That makes them invalid. Hey, Blackout, that makes them invalid because the president must authorize it, not his chief of staff. And one of the ones that are, well, several of the ones rather, that are invalid now is Dr. Fauci, the J6 committee. Hey, Rylan. They're all invalid because the chief of staff authorized the pardon, not the president. Hey, Miss Mandy, welcome. Long time no see. How's my friend? We're talking about Joe Biden's pardons, and that an article in the New York Times yesterday, no, Trump didn't invalidate his pardons. An article in the New York Times yesterday says that Joe Biden wanted to authorize the pardons, but there were just too many, so I didn't. And then there's an email from Biden's chief of staff to the girl that used the auto pen stating, I authorize the use of the pardon for these, for the following, or correction. He said, I authorize the use of the auto pen for the use of the following pardons. That means they're all invalid because the Presidential Records Act requires that when the president issues a pardon, there must be a paper trail showing that he's the one that issued the pardon. In this case, for Dr. Fauci, for the J6 committee and several others, it shows that the president's chief of staff authorized the pardon. That makes them invalid. That makes them all invalid. Glad to see you, Miss Mandy. Come back anytime. And there's going to be an investigation into this. Yeah, I love you too, Miss Mandy. Comer has said that he is opening up a congressional investigation because he said this is just shocking. He said the final weekend, he said there were 8,800 pardons signed. And he said now we find out that the chief of staff authorized some of those pardons. He said that makes all of them invalid. And there's several people that belong in jail. And whether or not Pam Bondi will charge them remains to be seen. It's just, there's so much going on right there. Hey, APC. Yeah, people love talking about the circus. DC is a circus. It is a total circus. And it's just, that's the way it is, you know. It's one of those scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of things until they get a person with some cojones in as president that says, time out, we're going to shake things up and we're going to correct things that have been needing to be corrected for 4 decades. So I thought that I would go live and talk about that. I'm also working on Adam Schiff. Looks like he's going to be charged with mortgage fraud. That's going to be our live stream for this afternoon. Adam Schiff and mortgage fraud. Who would have thought, right? He's a shady individual. But he won't get away with it. There's a lot of stuff on that front that deserves its own, that's why it deserves its own stream. Yeah, 8,800 is a lot. I wonder how many auto pens they wore out. Because, see, the auto pen is just like, the way it was described to me is, it's like a circuit board that they plug into the printer and they push a button and it signs the president's name. Yeah, that's quite wild, isn't it, Captain? Yeah, Friday to Monday. And some of the pardons they're looking into are considered invalid because Trump was sworn in at 12 o'clock on Monday. Some of the pardons are dated 12:08. That means that Biden was no longer president. And I've been wanting to, right, that's why they use the auto pen, which is just a circuit board, and they just push a button on it and it signs the president's name. It's a circuit board that they plug into the printer, and when they push the button, it just signs the president's name. Kind of crazy, huh, Captain? All right. I'll be on later this afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock my time, which it's almost 11 o'clock my time now. And we'll talk about Adam Schiff. This is going to get interesting. All right. Take care, y'all. Bye for now.